The boy just took a poop, never expected his back would break.
Oh God.
911, what's your emergency?
Firefighters break in, find the boy stuck to the toilet, unable to move. They carefully help the boy up and secure his neck. The team medic tries to lift the boy's arm, completely unresponsive.
I just want to get fit like everybody else, but I never thought it would kill me.
No, like pressure from my touch.
Oh, yeah, I can feel that.
Turns out, the boy accidentally saw a fitness advertisement, which told him with serious exercise, he could have a body like a Greek statue. He immediately bought fitness equipment, followed the exercises on the phone, but he's a total noob, can't even do a single push-up. Luckily, he's good at sit-ups, so he did 300 in one go. Suddenly, the boy feels pain in his stomach, rushes to the toilet, and then...
Oh God.
The medic understands. The boy's body spasm and stiffness were caused by overexertion. Fortunately, it's only temporary, but as the firefighters prepare to take him to the hospital...
Wow, you guys are pretty jacked. What kind of workout do you do?
I give up.
The hot lady got up from the bed. Her facial skin suddenly fell down. It happened just now. The woman had gone for a cosmetic surgery procedure. She quickly lost consciousness under the effect of anesthesia, but when she woke up from her stupor, she found all the doctors had collapsed on the ground, unconscious. She called 911 immediately. To ensure safety, firefighters wore gas masks as they entered the hospital. The entire hospital was eerily quiet. Following the woman's cries, the firefighters soon located the operating table. Just as she was trying to sit up, her facial skin suddenly fell down, blocking her eyes. A paramedic helped her flip her skin back and promptly applied cold compresses. The firefighters realized the doctors had only passed out. The captain spotted a ruptured anesthesia pipeline within the wall and speculated it had caused the leakage of anesthesia gas. The woman didn't lose consciousness because she was breathing through an oxygen tube. As expected, they found a fainted construction worker who had been affected as well. He had fainted right on top of a circular saw. They had to carry him away along with the saw blade. In the end, the woman and the maintenance worker were both rescued together.
He had a tuning fork stuck in his eye, but told the paramedics to go help other people first. When the two paramedics walked in, they saw a man lying on the floor covered in blood. He wasn't breathing at all. The man with the tuning fork in his eye seemed calm, like he didn't feel any pain. The paramedic wanted to shove a straw down his throat, but saw something blocking his airway. Carefully, she pulled out the object and found out it was a Cheeto.
Did you shove this down his throat?
After that, the skinny guy came back to life. He promised he would never eat Cheetos again.
The girl's tongue blew up like crazy. Her bestie was shocked at first glance, hastily asked what she had consumed. She suspected almond milk in the coffee triggered an allergy. She quickly inquired if the cafe had some adrenaline. Indeed, they had it. She took it and jabbed it into the girl's thigh. Strangely, the girl's symptoms didn't ease up. Instead, her tongue grew even larger. Breathing was a struggle. The woman dialed 911.
911, what's your emergency?
The operator, based on her description, concluded it wasn't an allergy, but facial swelling due to stress. Meanwhile, the girl went into shock. Time was needed for the rescue team to arrive, so the operator had to guide the friend over the phone, instructing her to use a spoon to press down on the tongue, then inserting a straw into the throat. Yet, despite doing all this, the girl still didn't regain her breath. A man nearby, witnessing the situation, stepped in. He firmly pinched her face, inducing a sensation of pain. Finally, the girl woke up from unconsciousness, and right at that moment, the rescue team arrived at the scene. The woman stuck her hand in a blender. Then, even though the employees quickly turned off the machine, the boss fell into a coma. Her entire upper body was caught in the machine, but she could still breathe. Though her pulse was very weak, they had to stop the bleeding immediately. While they were treating the woman's wound, putting an oxygen mask on her, they also dismantled the blender.
Don't move, Raina.
Although the boss's arm was severely injured, the dough wrapped around the wound, preventing major bleeding. After treating the wound, the firefighters worked together to lift the blades of the blender. She was finally rescued. Now the boss, who has lost her arm, doesn't know if she'll regret scolding the workers for taking off the safety cover just a moment ago. The man won the champion of the bodybuilders. His father, the previous champion, excitedly took the stage and lifted the trophy with him, but The firefighters arrived quickly. The scene is chaotic. The father and son were trapped in the stage and scolded by the enraged fans because the liquid in his arm is synthetic oil, which can expand his muscles. To everyone's surprise, the father is a liar. All the honors he worked hard for throughout his life are completely ruined today. This will also affect the future of his son. After emergency medical care, the firefighters were prepared to send him to the hospital, but the furious fans trapped them. The black policewoman had to hold the microphone.
I don't know if what this man did is illegal, but I do know this, that pursuant to Section 148.2 of the California State Penal Code, it is a misdemeanor to willfully obstruct emergency personnel from discharging their official duty.
Finally, the crowd left. Before leaving, the guy decided to give up the hard-earned trophy just acquired. A woman got out of the car but forgot to pull the handbrake. The vehicle started rolling backward.
Mommy! Mommy! God!
The woman sprints towards the car door, only to find it stubbornly locked. And guess what lies below the sloping disaster? A busy road, with no other choice. The firefighters quickly arrived. They took action to save her, but she insisted they take the children away immediately. They didn't understand why she was so fearful because the child had already been rescued. At that moment, the kid's father arrived.
Sammy, come with me!
No! He hits us! He hits me! We were trying to get away!
It turns out, the man was an abuser, but he was also the children's father, so taking the children away seemed inevitable. The man smirked, while the woman cried helplessly. Suddenly, the captain stopped the man.
Are you sure they are your kids? Because they don't bear much of a resemblance. It's got me thinking.
These words enraged the man, but the captain was pleased, as now they had a reason to apprehend the man for assaulting an officer. Baby was on the verge of drowning. Fortunately, the woman suddenly woke up, lifted the baby from the water. Even though the doctor assured the baby was fine, the mother still felt a deep sense of guilt, took the child to the fire station.
Not now, and maybe... I know that you're gonna take really good care of her, and she's better off without me.
The firefighter husband, upon watching the video, teared up. Meanwhile, his wife arrived at the seaside. Since giving birth, the wife had been raising the child on her own. Overwhelming pressure left her breathless, longing to end the pain with death. A few days later, the woman woke up. In order to undergo treatment, moved back to the hospital in her hometown. After recovery, she returned home once again. By this time, her husband had learned the art of parenting, pledging never to let her bear the burden alone again. Have you ever experienced overwhelming stress? The performer suddenly fell. Then 4 fingers were cut off by ice skates. The girl, scared, fell down. Her ice skate pierced into her companion's chest. And all of this, just because one sequin. The boss quickly called 911, but the boy's condition was very bad. The skate penetrated his chest 5 centimeters. Although it didn't hit the heart, it couldn't be pulled out directly. They had to carefully take the girl's foot out of the skate, then send the boy to the hospital. Have you ever been cut by an ice skate? Woman stood on the freeway sign. In the next second, she declared she was finding a man named Norman. The firefighter was hurried to find Norman all over the world, but the man was buying a coffee and didn't realize what happened until...
Yeah, some lady up there thought social media wasn't like social enough. This Norman guy is screwed. See me, Norman! See me now!
Oh, God.
Turns out, Norman is her husband. In the 30 years of marriage, the woman can't get 30 seconds of attention from him. She feels she is invisible, fearing that she might do something foolish. The firefighter quickly fetched a safety net, but the woman unexpectedly pulled out a weapon. The firefighter tried to persuade her, but she refused. Just in the nick of time, Norman arrived.
Lola, honey, it's me. I'm here. And I see you just like the sign says.
Liar! You look right through me! You don't even notice me! I'm just around to collect the mail!
Confusion written all over his face, as their relationship had always been peaceful and free of strife. And then, Norman pulled out his phone, hitting play on a song that filled the air.
He remembered. It was our first date.
I see you. Lola, I see you.
Maybe, I see you is the most touching words of love. Man is proposing.
I love you to the moon and back. Will you marry me?
In the blink of an eye, he suddenly fell into the elevator and dragged inside by the moving machinery.
911, what's your emergency?
Soon after, the firefighters arrived immediately. They removed the obstructing debris and a firefighter jumped in. Bending down to listen, he detected a faint pulse. The poor man kept repeating his desire to see his girlfriend. The firefighter checked and found the transmission chain stuck on his femoral artery, possibly severing the main artery in his thigh. The bleeding is profuse and extremely dangerous. After the firefighter prepared a blood plasma solution, rescue efforts were swiftly carried out. The man was carefully placed onto a stretcher, but his first question was if his girlfriend accepted his proposal.
I think she said yes, buddy.
Upon hearing the response, the boyfriend smiled but then started convulsing and coughing up blood continuously. If you wish to love someone, love them without hesitation, for nobody knows what tomorrow or unforeseen events may bring.
Dude was covered head to toe in branches, and after the doctor examined him, they found out it was some crazy plant virus. That virus was spreading like wildfire, and if they didn't act fast, he'd end up turning into a full-on tree dude. The doctor couldn't figure out how the hell he got this disease, but the guy spilled the beans, saying when he was a kid, he got his foot scratched out by a damn tree branch. After it healed, he noticed these hard lumps popping up, but he thought it was just scabs and never bothered to see a doctor. Next thing he knows, his whole body is covered in branches, making walking a challenge. All he wanted now was to be a regular dude again. The doctor hustled the guy into the OR, ready to chop off those branches from his body. But those branches were so tough that even a hammer couldn't make a dent. They had to bust out an electric saw and slice them off, then yank them out with forceps, because those branches had fused with the guy's tissues. The whole cleaning process was a real pain in the ass. After a few hours of intense battle, they managed to collect 2 buckets full of those trimmed branches. After the successful surgery, the dude could walk again, but he still needed a second surgery to get rid of the tissues on his face. He was stoked, because he'd been looking forward to this day for ages. Finally, he could grab that remote control himself and flip on the TV. Such a simple thing, but it had been his damn childhood dream. He felt like life was full of hope and all that jazz. A few days later, the doctor performed the second surgery, aiming to wipe out the rest of the nasty tissues in the guy's body. After a few rounds of scrubbing, the guy finally got rid of that branchy torment. All he had to do was wait for the wounds to scab over, and he'd be back to being a regular dude. But damn, he couldn't find any damn joy. He pulled up his pants. The spot where he got cut as a kid started acting up again, and this time it was spreading faster than ever. The poor guy's mood went straight down the crapper, going from hope to pure despair. It made him feel like life just wasn't worth living anymore.
The boy is playing on the trampoline. Suddenly,
911, what's your emergency?
911 arrives at the scene quickly. The captain discovers the hot girl's hand and waist are firmly pinned to the door by the trampoline springs. She dare not move at all. The handsome guy asks her if her fingers can move. The woman tries and finds they can, indicating the springs did not hit any nerves. The spring on her waist also did not pierce the spine. The woman is truly lucky. Then, the firefighters bring a chainsaw and directly cut the entire door, taking the woman to the hospital along with it. At the hospital, the son hands the woman her phone and excitedly tells her she has been live streaming the whole time. This incident instantly gained her 1 million followers. The woman is overjoyed and tells him, "We're going to make a fortune."
A 10-meter-long bug inside her belly, but she has no clue how it got there. She ended up in the hospital after a car accident, and when the doctor was disinfecting her wound, the girl acted like it hurt a lot. But it was precisely this normal reaction that made house suspect something abnormal. He insisted that the girl was faking the pain because he deduced from various details that she had painlessness, but the girl adamantly denied it. Next moment, House whacked the girl's leg with a cane, and surprise, she didn't react at all. Then the doctor tried poking her with a needle, and even scalding her with boiling water until blisters formed all over her hands, but the girl remained completely oblivious. Finally, the doctor decided to drill into her skull with an electric drill, and still, no reaction. After conducting many examinations, it was determined that she had a deficiency of vitamin B12. It turned out that a 10-meter-long bug inside her body had been consuming the vitamin B12. Without delay, a surgical procedure was performed to remove the bug.
The woman died in the pool, but the murderer was nowhere to be found. The police found some letters on the table, but none were signed by the woman. So they found the woman liked to snoop on other people's mail. After asking the neighbors, the police found out the woman liked to cause trouble. When the kid set up a stand, she reported the child for operating without a permit. She didn't like the neighbor's dog, so she poisoned the bread for the dog. The neighbors all disliked her. In the end, the police found out on the day of the incident. The woman was sprayed with water by a kid. She grabbed the gun, but was interrupted by someone barging in. She tripped during the chase, accidentally shot herself. Just as the detectives were thinking about who broke in, a corgi crawled in through the doggy door. Now, they know who the culprit is. Do you think this woman got what she deserved? Woman suddenly drives into a river due to a misguided navigation system. Panicking, she dials the rescue hotline. And the dispatcher, upon learning her situation, swiftly pinpoints her location. As the car begins to sink, the dispatcher encourages the woman to attempt self-rescue.
I have to let myself sink. I'm gonna drown in here. I don't want to die.
Unfortunately, the windows and doors won't budge, and water steadily fills the car. Attempting to improvise, the dispatcher advises the woman to break the window. However, after searching her entire bag, she finds nothing suitable. The dispatcher then instructs her to unbuckle her seatbelt. As the water rises to her face, she takes a deep breath, allowing her to open the door and escape. Just as she prepares to open the door, another car collides head-on. In this life-threatening moment, two firefighters descend from above. They locate the trapped woman, quickly open the door, and pull her out just in time, bringing her to the surface. Additional team members rush to assist, collectively lifting the woman to safety. The 80-year-old lady just bites down on a pen. A tooth pops out. Then, 4 or 5 more teeth follow suit, sending the lady into a panicked state. She rushes to the mirror, only to find more teeth falling out. All she sees are bare gums, and one of them gets stuck in her throat. She grabs her phone and dials 911. The firefighters arrive promptly, breaking down the door. Upon witnessing the lady's condition, the team springs into action, performing the Heimlich maneuver to dislodge the teeth from her throat. However, despite their efforts, the teeth remain stubbornly lodged. The team doctor examines her throat. A foul odor hits her nostrils, causing even the team members to recoil. She holds the lady's tongue down and delves inside. To her astonishment, she discovers a tooth growing in her tonsil. Swiftly, she extracts it with forceps, only to realize it's not a tooth but a tonsil stone. The woman herself feels nauseated and even vomits, resulting in another tonsil stone being coughed up. Clearly, there are more of these stones lurking in her mouth. Helpless, the firefighters have no choice but to rush her to the hospital. Mother pushes her daughter away. Then, when firefighters arrive, they discover this hole 40 meters deep. Though the woman at the bottom is still breathing, her entire body is immobile. Even so, her first concern is the safety of her child. After examination, firefighters determined the woman was bleeding severely, needed to be taken to the hospital immediately. However, the mother, reluctant to expose her child to the grim situation, was concerned about leaving a lasting impression. Therefore, the captain passed the walkie-talkie to the child, allowing them to talk to their mother. Upon hearing her daughter's voice, the mother finally smiled. When the eldest blamed herself for being playful, the mother comforted her, assuring it wasn't her fault.
I'm always with you. So whenever you feel sad or alone, just reach for each other. And that's when you'll feel me with you and remember that I love you.
Even though the mother's physical presence has left them, her love will forever reside in her daughter's heart. Do you miss your mom? The girl came to the cemetery to visit her deceased parents. A figure climbed out of a grave. The girl called 911. After investigation, it turned out that the man had not risen from the dead, but had been sucked into quicksand. While helping to dig a grave, another person was with him, buried in the soil for half an hour, just as the firefighters were about to dig him out.
Whoa! You okay? Yeah.
Unable to bear it any longer, the Blackie directly operated the excavator. Eventually, the man was dug up. While Buck praised her bravery, she began to worry if spirits would follow her home. A soccer ball comes flying in. Just a moment ago, the doctor was administering anesthesia to the girl's ear, treating the injury. 2 boys unexpectedly started playing catch in the emergency room. The doctor warned them, but the boys didn't listen and threw the ball again. As a paramedic turned around, he accidentally hit the ball. The woman's ear was instantly shaved off. The doctor was shocked.
Oh, God.
The doctor quickly asked a colleague to bring bandages, but unexpectedly, the colleague happened to step on the fallen ear. The girl couldn't hold back any longer, and let out a scream right then and there. The man lies on the glass of a collapsing building.
Hurry! Hurry, it's starting to crack!
But the firefighter chooses to save the girl next to him first, because the man is a pervert who wants to sexually harass the girl. Just as the firefighter is rescuing the girl, seeing that the pervert can't hold on any longer, suddenly an aftershock hits. The building shakes violently. The girl screams while holding onto the rope. The glass cracks more and more before the firefighter can react. The girl falls down then, but fortunately, the firefighter manages to grab her just in time.
Woman just want to get a new hair color, but little did she know, she'd end up with a head the size of a freaking watermelon. Her noggin got stuck in the damn heater. The poor woman was freaking out. The crowd called 911 for help. After checking, the firefighters found she was allergic to the dye. They tried their best to remove the heater, but it was like stubborn AF. So the captain had to whip out his electric saw to cut it open. Sparks were flying everywhere. The crew was holding their breath as they sawed through the machine. Finally, they managed to get her out of that hot mess, but
Almost there.
the crowd that had gathered around was tripping balls. The firefighters quickly send the woman to the hospital.
The motorcycle crashed into the truck, but the rider was nowhere to be found.
Where is he?
Up there.
Turns out, there was an accident on the road. When the firefighters arrived, they quickly set up a ladder and climbed into the truck to help.
What's his condition?
I don't know, I can't see him. There's cargo everywhere.
So, they decided to open up the truck and move the cargo out, but there was too much cargo. To save time, the firefighters used a saw to cut open the truck. Once they cut it open, the firefighters climbed back in and finally found the motorcycle rider, but his leg was badly broken. Even after they put a brace on his leg, the man started twitching during the move.
He's seizing! Gotta restrain him!
I hope everyone stays safe on the road.
Intricate world of conjoined twins. Two sisters face the daunting challenge of separation surgery. A diverse team of surgeons assembles, yet the odds seem insurmountable. The lead surgeon, grappling with pressure during late night. The following day, the twins enter the operating room, surrounded by a team of over 20 specialists. As incisions are drawn and skulls separated, the sisters linked for over 30 years are finally freed. During the delicate stitching process, an unforeseen heavy bleed occurs. Despite swift intervention, the elder sister's heart ceases. As the younger one's vital signs plummet, intensive efforts by the reconstructive surgeon eventually yield a slow recovery. Post-surgery, the younger sister lingers in a profound coma, sustained only by a ventilator. Overwhelmed with grief, the mother, aware of her daughter's inability to survive alone, invokes the shared commitment to life and death. In a plea to honor their decision, she implores the medical team to reunite the sisters despite the dire circumstances. This woman used a handgun to blast off half of her own face. Even the doctors couldn't guarantee a complete restoration. The woman's emotions instantly crumbled. She pleaded with the doctor to ensure a successful reconstruction. Soon, the woman underwent her first surgery. The doctor began by cutting open the damaged right side of her face, then implanted a miniature steel plate to secure the muscles. After skin graft adjustments, the doctor stitched and molded the contours with instruments. A week later, the doctor assured the surgery was a success. The woman eagerly gazes into the mirror, only to discover a more terrifying visage than before the surgery. The woman saw through her boyfriend's true feelings at a glance. He promptly fled the hospital. Not long after, the boyfriend unexpectedly returned to escort the woman from the hospital, revealing he was preparing to get married. Learning of her abandonment once again, the woman felt a profound chill. She pulled a handgun from her backpack.
Man was playing golf. Suddenly, billowing white smoke starts rising up from the ground. He goes to investigate, but before he knows it, the ground violently shakes. A fissure opens up. A woman nearby quickly grabs her child and runs to the side. As the ground collapses, Man desperately clings to the horns of a nearby statue, narrowly escaping falling into the pit. But then flames start shooting, causing the statue to topple over. Man falls into the deep hole. His wife was scared and immediately calls 911. Soon after, the firefighters arrived and discovered sulfur dioxide levels are dangerously high and the temperature is at 230 degrees. Luckily, the man is still alive, but his condition is uncertain. They started the rescue operation, erecting a ladder and lowering the firefighter slowly into the deep pit. The firefighter starts strapping protective gear on him. However, when they try to pull him up, Man's flesh is melting due to the extreme heat. He's stuck to the statue. The firefighter decides to use an electric saw to cut the statue and free him, but the temperature has already already reached 370 degrees. Another volcanic eruption is imminent, so the captain immediately orders the team to start the lift. Despite the man's excruciating screams of pain, they managed to forcefully pull him off the statue. Man was rescued in time.
Thank you.
Turns out, the area was actually an extinct volcano that had come back to life.
Train derailment, one carriage hanging upside down from the top. The woman and the man were trapped by the same beam. The firefighters must decide to save which one. The woman was severely pinned down by a steel bar. Force of the crash had pushed her leg up into her torso. The firefighter took off her shoes, finding there's still a pulse in her foot. On the other side, the man was being crushed by the seat.
When I breathe.
Based on their injuries, the captain decided to save the girl first. This means the man would die.
I'm really sorry.
For what?
You got hurt. You were really nice to me.
Buck couldn't stand this situation, so he risked his life and ran to the outside of the swaying carriage, cutting open the car window with a saw and rescuing the woman. Then, the man was also rescued. It turned out the man was the fiancé of Buck's ex-girlfriend.
Thank you.
Here, Buck.
What a top-tier romance mindset. Night. A car crashes into the fire station. The driver, upon exiting the vehicle, is completely nude. The firefighters are astonished and awkwardly avoid looking at her. Chim cautiously snaps his fingers to gauge her response, but the girl remains blank-eyed. Unresponsive, Chim suspects she might be sleepwalking. But how could a sleepwalker drive a car? With numerous male firefighters present, the captain can't leave the girl standing there stark naked. He instructs Buck to fetch a blanket to shield her. Suddenly, the girl snaps out of it. The female firefighter rushes forward to comfort her. The girl gradually calms down. After a checkup, it turns out the girl is fine. She admits to having a history of sleepwalking. Buck is baffled. Since you knew you were sleepwalking, why still slept naked?
Look, breathe.
Buck is left speechless. The firefighters prepare to take her to the hospital for a thorough examination.
What do we do about her car?
My car? I don't have a car.
Man takes his girlfriend on a private plane ride above the city. Suddenly, the plane starts shaking violently. He asks his girlfriend to check the malfunction report to find the cause.
Airspeed 65 knots.
Check.
Verify flight ring is engaged.
Check.
Initiate engagement process.
Check.
Confirm pilot. Is head over heels in love with the passenger.
Check.
Until now the girl realizes it was all a well-planned marriage proposal. The next moment, the girl feels her heart racing and struggles to breathe. She clutches her chest in agony and passes out. The guy panics and calls 911. The operator advises him to make an emergency landing. Meanwhile, the rescue team arrives at the scene and rushes to check on the girl. They find her blood pressure dangerously low and her heartbeat abnormally fast. They suspect a sudden heart attack. The captain decides to administer nitroglycerin to the girl, but the operator calls to inform them that the girl has been taking L-thyroxine recently, which can cause an increased heartbeat. The leader immediately cancels the nitroglycerin and opts for a different medication, adenosine.
Not a heart attack.
Broken heart syndrome?
That's what I'm thinking.
That's a real thing.
Soon, the girl wakes up and the guy is relieved. The first thing she asks is about the ring. The guy presents it to her and she gladly accepts.
A 20-meter-long snake broke into the house. It knocked a man down with its venom, but when the firefighters arrived, they ran off with the kids. Just earlier, firefighters got a call. A father was bitten by a snake. Luckily, his son was okay. The paramedic wanted to call animal control, but it would take them an hour to get here. By then, the father might never see his son again, so the firefighters had to go back into the house. One took the hook the boy handed her, but as she looked at the snake on the ground, she ended up passing the hook to another firefighter. What a strong friendship. The woman gathered her courage and walked forward. In the end, she chose to push open the bathroom door and lured the snake inside.
Come on. Nightmares. I will have nightmares.
Mother kept slapping the girl's face, but received no response. The girl's heart seemed to be stopped beating. The empty pill bottle nearby shocked her. The girl had attempted suicide. Thankfully, after a whole night of emergency treatment, the girl finally escaped danger. The parents thought it was their fault, but to their surprise, she told them,
Mostly this one Layla to a boy she likes. and they decided to gang up on me.
Turns out, she was bullied. The mother was completely enraged. She went to Laura's house in a wealthy neighborhood. Seeing the cops suddenly visiting, Laura panicked and hid something in her bag.
Your neighbors called to complain.
I'm sorry, was the music too loud?
No, see, they called to say some skanky teenage hoe living up in here.
A packet of marijuana was found in her bag. As the girl left, she threatened her.
You are in such trouble. My father's in a...
To get more followers on YouTube, the Blackie put a plastic bag on his friend's head, then cemented his head inside the microwave oven directly. The poor dude was totally lost, and even jumped into the pool. The Blackie called 911. When they arrived, the dude had been upside down. His pulse was weak and had no respiration. The firefighters performed CPR while smashing the cement. Finally, the dude was saved. At this moment, his friends who were watching the scene took out his phone and started live streaming.
Maybe our most intense yet.
The captain was speechless.
The man pushed trash into a trash can, but his keys fell in. He tried to lean in to get it, but slipped and fell right into the trash can. The man banged on the can, but no one answered, and this trash can had a one-way door. The man grabbed his car keys and kept pressing the open button, but no one noticed his call for help until the night when firefighters were nearby on a rescue. They finally heard his banging sounds.
Hello? Anybody there? Oh. Where are you? In here.
Firefighters opened the trash can and finally found the man. They cut open the lock, and the man was saved as he asked the firefighters if they heard his car alarm.
What car?